Don't try to make a mistake. I'm telling you, don't try.
Frieda Ndatipo was gunned down during a demonstration calling for jobs in front of headquarters of the country's ruling party, SWAPO, at the age of 26. Ndatipo, a mother of 3, was shot dead on August 27, 2014 during a scuffle between a group of struggle kids and law enforcement officers who were blocking off the group's access to the SWAPO head offices in Leonard Awala and Hans Dietrich Genscher streets in Katutura. The struggle kids had been staging regular demonstrations at the ruling party's head offices in their quest to be given jobs. Most of the group have parents who died in the guerrilla war for independence from South Africa, which ended in 1990. Addressing Parliament, Prime Minister Hage Geingob described Ndatipo's death as a highly tragic and regrettable event. Ndatipo's body was seen laying by the side of the road as police cordoned off the area. Wearing pink jean and a blood-soaked blue t-shirt, she appeared to have suffered a bullet wound to the upper left torso. Officers claimed that demonstrators had been armed with sticks and stones as well as firearms, but demonstrators denied the accusation. "They are lying by saying that some of us had guns. They just want to cover their tracks," said one of the group members, who asked not to be named. Protesters gathered after the shooting, demanding the officer allegedly responsible be charged. Some sang revolutionary songs while others wept in remembrance. "Just yesterday we celebrated Heroes Day, and now you are killing the very same children of the heroes you remembered. What was the use of Heroes Day then?" shouted one of the group members. Prime Minister Geingob said the government has taken note of the protests, but urged them to leave the streets. Geingob suggested some of the struggle kids were being manipulated in a bid to embarrass the government. Using strategies such as the one which occurred today for the advancement of election campaigns is not going to make the government acquiesce to demands, he said. In 2015, the Namibian newspaper reported that the inquest into the death of Ndatipo came to an end with a finding by Judge Frieda Ndatipo that the identity of the person who fired the shot that killed Ndatipo could not be established on the basis of the evidence available to him. The judge found that Frieda was not posing any threat to police officers at the scene where so-called children of the liberation struggle had staged one of their regular demonstrations at the SWAPO party head office on the 27th of August in 2014. There was also no evidence that she had physically resisted the police or taken part in a bout of stone throwing between the struggle children and the police. As a result of that, it was inevitable to conclude that her death had been brought about as a result of an unlawful act by an unknown person, the judge said. Judge Liebenberg also remarked that it seemed probable that Frieda had been struck by a ricochet bullet, rather than a bullet fired directly at her, but with that, this had not been conclusively proven. During proceedings, the inquest court was told that 25 spent bullet casings were picked up at the scene of the crime after the shooting. All the spent cartridges were linked to firearms in possession of members of the Namibian police and the Windhoek City Police at the scene. But the bullet that hit Frieda Ndatipo could not be found and could not be traced back to any specific firearm. Judge Liebenberg added that, although the protesters had the right to assemble in front of the SWAPO head offices and to express their views or dissatisfaction, those rights are not absolute, especially when it encroaches on the rights of others. With the benefit of hindsight, it would appear that the situation was such that it required the presence of a specialized unit with properly trained members and equipped to deal with situations of this sort, the judge said. In conclusion, one should be careful not to become an armchair critic when assessing the manner in which the police handled the situation. However, there is reason to believe that the situation could have been dealt with differently and probably more appropriately had the necessary precautionary measures been taken prior to the closing in on the group in order to search them, if that was at all proper in the circumstances, the judge added. For about 10 years now, no one is convicted for the murder of the mother of 3, Frieda. May she continue to rest in peace.